So what a weekend of football, eh? Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to On My Head, son. I hope you're well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So what happened this weekend in the Premier League and also in the FA Cup? Because we had the quarterfinals. Coventry beat Wolves to get through to the semi-finals. Man United in a thriller against Liverpool came through right at the very last minute of extra time. So they're through to the semi-finals. We've got Man City in there again because they beat Newcastle. Very lacklustre Newcastle. And then finally you got Chelsea coming through against Leicester 4-2. So decent set of games in the FA Cup. Really good, really entertaining stuff. Then you bring it back to the Premier League, and then I'm going to talk about a particular game that I went to, West Ham against Aston Villa, and what an absolute farce it was for refereeing decisions and also for this VAR as well. Let's just scrap this VAR. I've had enough of this VAR. It's just a terrible system, so inconsistent, so many poor decisions, and it just takes way too long. The whole point of VAR was to correct obvious errors, right? It was to highlight errors that the referee may have missed. Well, in this case, you've got VAR decisions that are taking 6, 7, 8 minutes just to make a decision, and it's not clear and obvious. Yes, when they're splitting the gnat's hair, you can see, okay, fine, it's made the right decision. But it's just taken too long. It ruins the fans' experience. It ruins the spectacle. The players are all hopping mad. Then you come into question of all the rules and the interpretation of the rules. Then it becomes subjective and not objective. And there's all these other issues. But it really comes down to this one point. If it's not clear and obvious, if you can't make a relatively quick decision within 30 seconds on VAR with the benefit of looking at video, then surely you've got to give the advantage to the attacking team. You've got to give the advantage there because you say, well, it's not clear and obvious. If it's not clear and obvious, you can't give a decision either way. Therefore, if a team has scored a goal, you give the goal. It's just absolute nonsense. But listen, I'm going to talk about West Ham and Aston Villa from this point of view. A really good game to watch if you're a neutral. West Ham had much better the first half. Aston Villa had, well, a much better second half. It was kind of even Stevens. But West Ham stepped off the gas, let Aston Villa come into the game. And this is where we start talking about positivity and negativity in terms of the managers. Unai Emery of Aston Villa made some positive changes after half-time. You could argue that David Moyes was more negative, wanted to consolidate more, and it kind of bit us in the arse, right? It really did. Aston Villa came into the game more. But we've got players on the field that should have been sent off for Aston Villa. There was a couple of altercations during the second half, and quite rightly, players were getting booked. Fine, we have no issues there. But then 2 or 3 Aston Villa players were making yellow card offences, let's say, but they weren't shown the yellow card. That would have been 2 yellows and a red card. Good night, Vienna. On your bike, señorita. So we had Douglas Luiz, I think there was a Bailey, but certainly Zaniolo from Aston Villa, committed a foul. And then the second offence was that he threw the ball away after it went out for a throw in just in front of the dugout. Well, in anybody's book, if you throw the ball away and especially impeding the flow of the game, that is a yellow card offence. So the referee was making really poor decisions. Actually, even in the first half and in the second half. So we've got to talk about refereeing in general. This is not only the West Ham Aston Villa game. This is pattern happening all season. Some really poor decision making, but also the over-reliance on VAR. And the VAR just lets both teams down, both sets of supporters down, time and time again. Because as a fan, if you think that 1 week, oh yeah, we got away with that because VAR gave us a decision, I guarantee the very next game, the VAR decision will go against you as well. It's just the way it is. So you've got to have consistency. You've got to have consistency in the refereeing decisions. You've got to have consistency in the VAR. If it's not clear and obvious, then you shouldn't be taking 6, 7 minutes, 8 minutes to make a decision. That's absolutely ridiculous. West Ham scored in the first half with a flying, diving header from Antonio. 1 minute we're slating him off. The next minute he scored a goal. We're all singing Antonio. Then in the second half, Zaniolo, who should have been sent off, pops up and scores their goal. We could see that was coming, actually, in all fairness. We could see Aston Villa were just getting more and more into the game, gaining more ground, gaining more possession, playing some nice football, nice passing football. West Ham weren't able to close them down like they were in the first half. They stepped off the gas. When West Ham consolidate, as I call it, when they step off the gas a little bit, they're not very good at shutting up shop and shutting off midfield, and certainly in defence as well. There was a little bit of uneasiness in the West Ham play, especially when David Moyes made the substitutions and you're taking off Antonio and you're taking off Paqueta in terms of our offensive players, and you're not really swapping like for like. It was slightly negative, and that basically, coupled with the refereeing decisions, enabled Aston Villa to get more and more into the game. They scored the goal, but it led to 3 goals being disallowed for West Ham. Aston Villa should have had a penalty themselves with the Emerson handball in the first half as well. Look, that ball hit his arm, and his arm was outstretched, so you could argue, yeah, he didn't move his arm to it because it was already there, but it's in an unnatural position, so therefore, hey, that's a penalty. Inconsistency all around. On the whole, entertaining game to watch. For the neutral, I would say it's an entertaining game to watch. Some great cup ties, but VAR and the refereeing decisions kind of ruin the game, ruin the spectacle. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I will catch you again on another video coming very soon. Bye now.